Oh
Yeah,
man, that's me even now, man. I can't do it now. It fucks me
Same
up.
thing happened to me.
Dude, I'm gonna be up till like 4 a.m. So
Oh
Oh,
man.
Michigan State USC's on. There's a load of late games today.
yeah,
Oh, there you
is.
go.
There is. I'm watching Colorado State and UTSA, the Road Runners. Is what I'm watching right now. We got Uncensored in the house. What up, Uncensored?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, man?
You sound
Doing
tired.
great. Man, it's been a fucking week, but
Yeah, I hear that.
it's a big one.
Understatement for sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
And we got Eshawn in here, the Hollywood director.
What's happening
What's
with
up,
you guys,
Eshawn?
man?
So,
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. I'm traveling on Wednesday, so I completely hear the busyness, man. Just nonstop. I'm on a bullet train, man. But hey, I can't complain.
That's what we're talking about. Man, let me send the link to Mike here. Paste. Let me send it to Space Cowboy too. Maybe he wants to join. I forgot to send them to those people. That's on my Twitter side. All right. I did everything in 30 minutes. What up, Space? There he is. I bet he wants to come on too. But let's dip into this, man.
Let's do it.
Before we started, Savage peeked at my notebook, and I was going to start the show off with defensive rankings. Cowboys are 30th on defense overall, and the Chicago Bears are 28th in defense overall.
Jeez.
And Savage, tell everybody what you told us before I hit live.
Now, before we went live, I said I just think it's going to be a repeat of the Giant game. Two bad teams going up and down the field, and a high-scoring game. So
Yeah.
take the over. That's what I would do.
But
Just saying.
Hey, what's the Bears' offense rank?
I don't know. I was still doing some research. Like I said, I was trying to put all this together, and I was going to research the offense as the show went on. Mr. Jump the Gun Uncensored. But no, we got Space Cowboy in the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. What up, Space?
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, we're going over the Cowboy defensive ranks. Cowboys are 30th. The Bears are 28th. Savage, before we hit live, he said this could be another Cowboys Giants game, high scoring, shootout type of game. So I'll start with Savage on this one since he brought up that topic. Picked up my notebook. Elaborate. What do you think can the Cowboys defense step up at all?
That's tough. It's not like the Bears' offensive line is great to begin with, yet they've thrown a lot of picks at it. So basically, you're going to be having a bad offensive line of the Bears going up against a bad defensive line of the Cowboys. I don't know if Diggs was on the East Coast this week because there was video of him and Cardi B walking out of the hospital, and he couldn't get the baby seat into the car. So I know she's on the East Coast. So I don't know where his head's at. I don't know. I'm sure they give you a few days off for having a kid.
It's Stephon Diggs, not Trayvon Diggs.
I have a mental block with both of those dudes, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, like.
Yeah, I have a mental block with both of them. Even the Kelsey brothers, but I hate both of them, so it's cool. I just think it's probably going to be, whoever gets the ball last and probably kick another field goal. Dak will probably throw for 400 yards. But I can see Caleb Williams doing well just because he's very mobile, and we have problems with mobile quarterbacks. And our defense is just atrocious. And watch one of the Bears wide receivers just – Kaiir Elam is going to get picked on all game long.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah. Eshawn, Mike, I'll get with you in a second here. Cowboys defense ranked 30th with Matt Eberflus here. Are you surprised that this defense is ranked 30th?
Yes and no. Would I have expected them to be that bad outright? No, not in terms of the ranking necessarily, but I kind of expected that there would be struggles. I guess didn't the extent of the struggles and how terrible the defense was to the point where you let Russell Wilson cook them like that to that degree. But so I guess in terms of the number being ranked 30th, that's fucking terrible. That's being kind to say that that's terrible. I didn't expect it to the number. I didn't expect it to be that terrible, but I expected struggles. I'll put it that way. So to the question, it's like I expected struggles, but like 30th is that's just terrible, man.
Agreed.
Right. Mike on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. What up, Mike?
What's up?
What's up?
We got a cam up. Who you wearing? Who is that?
George Pickens.
Oh, you're wearing the George Pickens. George Pickens is on the topic today, so make sure
That's nice.
make sure you stick around for that.
Of course.
But uncensored, Cowboys defense ranked 30th. Are you surprised?
I expected them to be somewhere around mid-20s, and that might be where they end up at the end of the year.
What? Whenever you said they're going to be mid-20s, elaborate on that for us. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in January, I said the focus was so much on getting Dak Prescott weapons and helping out the offense that I felt like they weren't giving the same attention to the defense. I was like, this is a setup. They want Dak Prescott to go out there and throw up 35, 40 points a game, and then so they can blame the defense.
Right.
I just don't think that we have the talent, and it was mostly defensive line. I just don't think we have the talent across the board that we do on offense to really clamp down on the good teams. I also looked at our schedule. A lot of teams like to run the ball on our schedules. We got 4 games in a row with teams that won 14 games last year. So just looking over it all with a new defensive coordinator for the 4th time in 4 years, Eberflus coming in, I wasn't that excited about to begin with. And I just kind of thought that they will be. I think they're going to finish somewhere around 23 to 25. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they are right now.
You think they'll figure it out?
Well, I don't think 25 is figuring it out. I just think that they'll Eberflus' scheme is going to click for a few players, so they'll improve throughout the season. But I don't see a huge jump up to the low teens or anything like that. Last week, what I saw 2 bad teams playing each other, and that's what it looks like. Just like you can get 2 great teams and they can score a bunch of points. You get 2 bad teams, they can't stop each other. This defense worries me because you can't score 35 points every single week. Dak Prescott is going to be off a game. CeeDee Lamb is going to drop a few passes. You're going to struggle to run a game throughout the season. And if this defense can't clamp down and really put some pressure on somebody, you're going to lose a whole lot of football games, especially against the higher end teams. I don't know the stats. Once I'm done talking, I'll pull it up. How many drives have the opposing team offense had, and how many of them have led to points versus punts or turnover on downs? It's got to be in the single digits for punts and turnovers.
Not really, because that second half Eagles game they did better. They did a lot better.
I think there was only 3 or 4 drives in the second half per team. That game went by extremely fast.
Yeah, no, it did. Yeah.
All
right, Space Cowboy, break this down for us, Space. I need you to break this down for us. Are you surprised that we're 30th? And in Space Cowboy Media's brain, how does Matt Eberflus fix it? Is it player? Is it scheme? Is it both? Go ahead, Space.
I believe it's a mix of both because when we really look at what happened, you trade away one of your better defensive players right before the season begins. So you have to change how you approach things schematically, because what happens is that, whatever you feel about Micah Parsons, the fact is he's a force on that edge, which is going to lead to more pressures, which is going to lead to the quarterback being disrupted. And not only that, you can kind of live with the deficiencies you have in your secondary. But now because he's gone and you're kind of trying to figure out, okay, now we have a bunch of dudes now trying to do this by committee. And we see that there's pressure being generated. They're just not getting home. And I'm not surprised that it's that bad because when you look at the safety play, that's what's really led to these concerns. If you really, I understand that we talk about how Kyer Elam got beat against Jahan Dotson, and then we saw multiple times where Donovan Wilson was getting torched, and like even though it looks like that Diggs was getting torched, but the fact is that if there's no safety help, that's what's going to lead to those chunk plays. I remember when we talked about it at the beginning of the year, right? What was the strength of the defense? I said it was the defensive line, and we're seeing that the interior of the defensive line's held up pretty well. But your problem is that, and we talked about, I believe, in the last show about the guys that you're calling up, they're just not it, and you're causing all these chunk plays. So I'm not surprised that outcome, but when you have a shootout like that happen, it's going to inflate the numbers. So to me, it's a bit of a mix of both because you're having dudes that I was excited for coming into this defense that just look lost. And then you have some of these other dudes that just don't look comfortable right now. So will they figure it out? Maybe. But again, that's probably why they made the trade to get rid of Micah Parsons, aside from the personal stuff. But they want to revamp the defense in a particular way. And you kind of hope that and I'll end on this, is that you need roster stability. Like, however you feel about Eberflus is one thing, but the fact of the matter is that if you don't have a plan, it's going to really, because we're seeing all this turnover. Like we talked about how many all defensive coordinators we've had, right?
Right.
So that's really what I'm worried about is that, but I'm not worried about him leaving. I'm just worried about, okay, do you not have a plan past this season to really revamp the defense? Because I don't think a trade this year is going to help you, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. You need Ezaraku, that second round pick, to step up. You need Marshawn Nealon, that second round pick, to step up. So a lot of these defensive ends have to step up. They fixed that inner circle with Kenny Clark and Osa, but now the position that they thought that was deep end isn't so deep after all. Mike,
what's up?
Cowboys ranked 30th. What's your thoughts on that?
I can't say I'm surprised. I never thought Matt Eberflus was a good hire, and this is exactly what I was afraid of. There's a reason why the Bears fired Eberflus, and now we're seeing it on full display. I don't really have much hope for this defense, and I think Matt Eberflus is going to be one and done after this season. It just feels exactly like Mike Nolan all over again. I mean, last week we gave up a 3rd and 25. A 3rd and 25. How does that happen? How do we give up a 3rd and 25 like that? But yeah, I don't really have any faith in this defensive coordinator we hired, and I think he's going to be gone after this season.
There you go. I think everybody hit good points on it. I just think it looked like the communication wasn't there, and on that defense side of the ball, you had Reddy Stewart in there, who I thought played well, but there was no communication for the young guy from Diggs to help over the top. Donovan Wilson's put in a situation that's really not his strength in trying to cover guys. I think Matt Eberflus needs to go to a Dan Quinn cover 3 scheme, because this Tampa 2, your linebackers ain't equipped enough. Jack Sanborn isn't equipped enough to carry tight ends down up the seam. He's just not. I would go cover 3 if I was Matt Eberflus. Maybe, just maybe, you might see some improvement there. But I digress. Moving on. Javonte Williams, ladies and gentlemen, on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. I was big on Javonte Williams. His 1980 in the house. His Denver tape has not lied to me yet in his transition to the Cowboys. So I'm going to snake this here. Mike,
what's up?
Javonte Williams, has he met your expectations?
100%. He's made some very good runs. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from him. He's playing like an RB1, and I really, really like what I've seen from him. And I'm exceptionally excited to see what he's going to do against his former team in a few weeks when we play the Broncos Week 8. I think Javonte Williams is really going to have a good game, and he's really looking like his 2021 self. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Javonte Williams so far.
Space Cowboy.
He has exceeded my expectations in terms of what we're seeing on the field. I think this is a combination of you being able to run the ball effectively. We're seeing that scheme really marry well with the player that you have. He's only 25 years old. He has 150 rushing yards through 2 games. And on top of that, he was only a couple yards away from his first 100-yard rushing game of the season. 3 rushing touchdowns. His career total is, like, for most of the season's 4. So he's closing in on that, which is fantastic. But he looks comfortable. He looks like exactly what you wanted. And he's averaging 5 yards a pop, basically. And I think that the fact, like you said, Mike, the Denver tape hasn't lied. The biggest concern has just been his health, similar to that of Rico Dowdle. But where I think those two differ is that and I might be crazy when I'm thinking about this. I just talked about this on my show today. Javonte Williams, the way he runs reminds me a lot of DeMarco Murray from years ago. Not like offensive player of the year DeMarco Murray, but early, not like that burst DeMarco Murray, but a guy that you can give him the rock. He's going to give you those dirty runs that we used to talk about and make third and manageables more possible. That's what the Cowboys need. And I can't be nothing but pleased. And now you're looking at a $3 million investment really turning out for you. So good stuff there.
5th quarter Cowboys in the house. Big shout out to my guy in Miami, listening to Keith Whitley over there on the beaches. Got his toes in the water, his ass in the sand. Not a worry in the world, but a cold beer in his hand. 5th quarter Cowboys there.
What up,
Uncensored has Javonte Williams in 2 games. So his base Cowboy talked about it. 33 attempts, 151 yards, 3 touchdowns. Has he exceeded or met your expectations?
He has exceeded my expectations because my bar was pretty low for him based off of what I saw in Denver.
Tragic.
So he's exceeded he's exceeded my expectations. And I actually think that his numbers would be even better if the Giants game didn't turn into the shootout that it was. I think that because that game turned into a bombs away game, that it ended up taken away from the rushing stats. He probably would have another 50 yards or so if you didn't have to match Russell Wilson's sky ball the whole fucking game.
Right.
But he's exceeded my expectations.
Nice. What about you, Eshawn?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. He's definitely exceeded my expectations. To be completely fair and transparent, I had never seen him play before. So, heading into the year, I was just kind of like, okay, let's just see what he does, because I just didn't know. I had never seen him play, so I couldn't speak to any tape or anything of that sort. But it was just, I guess my expectation was, even though I didn't necessarily have an expectation because I didn't see him play, I'd be lying if I said that I had a high hopes, because I didn't. I think that probably was equated to the overall running game, the running back room in general. But he definitely has exceeded my expectations. I've been pleasantly surprised with how I've been seeing him play, man. So I hope they give him the ball more, and I hope he can, get more carries. But so far, I have nothing to complain about as far as his play.
Yes, sir. Daddy Savage, the draft guru. Javonte Williams. Has he met your expectations?
I can give you that answer. Week 17, I'll give you the answer.
Nothing in 2 weeks?
Nothing.
He's made of glass. He's made of glass.
In 2 weeks, 4.58 yards to carry his glass?
I'm just saying, look at his injury history. That's why I'll say I'll give my opinion on it in week 17 if he's still on the field. I mean, he's on a 1-year deal, so he's playing for a new deal if he continues to play well. So he has incentive to play well. But that's what happens with Dallas. We sign people for 1 year, and if they do good, then he's gone, because I doubt they're going to resign him. I wouldn't resign him, but
if he met your expectations week 17, you wouldn't resign him?
Nah, not. It's besides Philadelphia and the Ravens, and it's a running back by committee league. Bijan Robertson was a top 10 pick, and he's in a running back by committee league without Algier from BYU. So, it's anyone with a hot hand, in my opinion.
I'm watching
Corner.
University of Texas South San Antonio.
Real quick.
And
How many people thought Ashton Gentry was like, the next Barry Sanders and was going to turn around everybody? It's
But he's got 50 yards.
They're calling him a bust.
He got 50 yards total.
And how ironic. I said the same thing about Austin Gentry. The kid can't pass block, and he's getting his ass blown up. But,
Mario Hampton was my number 1 running back in that draft. I'm just saying.
Gentry was my 5th.
Hey, Corner, I got a question with Javonte. If he finishes, let's say he finishes the season top 10 in rushing. Right now he's 7th. Let's say he finishes top 10. What contract would you be comfortable offering him to stay?
That's a good
Considering his age.
What's the running back market? $25 million a year? What's the running back market? Well,
sounds like a lot, though.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot. Space, what's the running back market, Space?
So I guess it would depend on how he ends the year. You're probably looking. I think I said it in the last show. Like you're probably looking between maybe 5 to 10 million and maybe 2 to 3 years. But it really comes down to where he finishes. Like if he finishes, let's just say he finishes with 1,000 yards and 10 plus touchdowns, he's probably going to look for something northward of $10 million. That's just how the running back market is, especially if he's putting that on tape. But if he, let's just say to Savage's point, let's say he gets hurt, you could probably get him for cheaper, and that could shy off of other teams. And that kind of goes to my point of the running back, his point of the running back by committee. Like, I think that you can give him 10 plus touches a game, but again, I've always looked at Javonte as that transitional player to the next set of running backs. So
I would say if you can get him for 8 APY, I'd say sign him. 2-year deal. 2-year deal, I'd say that as long as the guarantees are low, you're protecting yourself, even if he stays. And it could be, and if he does get hurt this year, the Cowboys have leverage to make a high incentive deal. So, if it's a high incentive deal, you can get him for 8 million APY. I don't see why not. Because I'm going to say like this, I'm going to keep it funky with you. And I wish Cowboys Champs was here to hear this. And maybe I might disagree, but I know the people, yeah, exactly. I think Javonte Williams, if he can stay healthy, could be a bell cow for the Cowboys. He has shown me that he can in 2 games. Go ahead, Savage.
Okay, but let's just say he has a great year. Are we going to pay a guy that's been healthy 1 year a tremendous amount of money? What happens to all our players that we pay? They get hurt. So, no, even if he has a good year, bye. Let him walk out the door. Plenty of running backs in this draft. Plenty of running backs in every single draft. I wouldn't pay a guy.
But we said that, though, and we drafted 2 running backs. Jadon Blue's not being trusted as a 5th-round pick. Phil Maffa is hurt again with the same shoulder that he got hurt at in Clemson. So we can say there's plenty of running backs. The Cowboys took 2, and they have yet seen the field.
What they took him late. They could have took a running back in the second. I'm trying to say they didn't. They took Ezraku. Could have took a running back in round 3, but we decided to take a cornerback. Blew his knee out September 29th in college. So we could have took one earlier, but yeah, I got no problem waiting to day 3 for running backs. There's plenty of good running backs. That's just my opinion. Somebody with an injury history comes to Dallas. Nah, man, 1 good year, that doesn't. I wouldn't open up the bank for a guy like that.
Not even for $1 million APY.
Oh yeah, something like that. What's the veteran minimum? $1 million? I mean, yeah, I think that's what it is. Something like that.
What is he getting paid right now?
3.
He's the 3.5.
Yeah.
Do you think he's better than David Montgomery? On Detroit? David's making 9. So he's got to be that I would think would be the ceiling.
He has a good showcasing, like everyone's been talking about. Savage called him glass. He is made of glass in Denver. Sometimes a fresh start helps a player.
Yeah, what was that Denver offensive line? Because the same thing happened to Darren McFadden in Oakland with the Raiders, and then he cracked 1,000 with Dallas on a down year.
Yeah, and we also got
to had a shitty offensive line in front of him.
The The
Go ahead,
other thing
Space.
we got to remember too is how you structure the deals. Another thing, like it could be one of those deals where it's like, okay, you sign him, let's just say 2 years, even if it's like 2 years, $20 million. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Let's say, okay, you pay him that, and it's like one of those like option, not an option year, but like the guarantees make it so you can get out of the contract after 2026. That's cool. Because the way I'm looking at it is that for Williams, I'm not expecting him to be here long term. I'm just expecting him to be that guy to see what these younger guys can do. Like if Phil Maffa can be what Williams is doing now, that's great, but he's not that. And so also you can go into the next draft if you want to spend a solid pick, like for, I don't know, like Jeremiah Love or whoever's coming out, you can. But I think it really comes down to how he ends the year and, you know, what he's willing to take, because I think if we're talking about David Montgomery, like on film, I think Williams is a more talented running back, but the problem has been his health for the longest time. So, and that goes into it because hurt guys stay hurt.
And you're also looking at a running back that has 4 or 5 years in the league already. And then, like me, I would, if he had a top 10, I would offer him somewhere around 3 years, 18 million, 10 million guaranteed. That's a contract you could probably get from under the following year if he just completely busts a year after you give him the money.
Me personally, I'd rather throw that money on defense. When your
It
defense
also, I
is
mean,
dirty,
to Unsensu's point, you know, the analogy, not the analogy, but, you know, the comparison to Darren McFadden, I was going to bring that up too, because, you know, yeah, he's exceeding my expectation. I think all of our expectations right now, but the injury history is the injury history. That's just fact. So I don't know how we can trust that moving forward. If they were to sign him for even a $9 million contract, that seems high, man, for someone with these level of injuries. That's just me. But I don't know. That's just me. You know, listen, I like how he's playing right now, but I mean, and, you know, we'll have to see, I guess, moving forward. But it's just, I don't know. I just, if you're talking about an extension, that I'd be lying if I said that injury history doesn't worry me a little bit about that.
Pay the man.
What I've really been impressed with him, though, is his, we haven't had this in a while, is lateral quickness in the hole. His ability to shift left and right up against the line of scrimmage. We haven't had that in a while. It's been normally they run and if it's the A gap, they run into the A gap no matter whether it's open or not. They lower their shoulder and just try to get 1 or 2 yards. His lateral quickness, we haven't had that in a while.
And his, you know, Cam Scatterbo was known for this. His fall forward for an extra 2 to 3 yards. You know, I think Javonte Williams, he doesn't give up on the play. He likes those stingy yards. Like, okay, you got me, but let me see if I can get pushed here for a couple more yards. And I love finishing plays. I mean, that's Texas football right there, damn it. Finishing plays. Make it count every down. So absolutely. So let's talk about these wide receivers. And Mike over there wearing George Pickens, but we're going to talk about the Bears' top wide receiver, who's ranked 15th on offense, and the Cowboys ranked number 3. The Bears have scored on their opening drives in 2 consecutive weeks. Now, we just talked about this defense, and it looks like the Bears have an opportunity to do it 3 times. All right. And, well, hold on. There's an interesting fact about Javonte Williams. If Javonte Williams scores a touchdown in week 3, he will be the first Dallas Cowboy in history in the Dallas Cowboy organization to score 3 consecutive running touchdowns. Ain't that insane? With Zeke and Murray and Dorsett and Emmett. Dude, that blows my mind. So
I didn't know that.
Me neither, till the other day. So let's talk about these wide receivers. So the Bears, they got Rome Odunze over there, and he is kicking some tail. You know, we talked about him on the Frisco report. And we got CeeDee Lamb. Savage will snake this. That's how we do it here on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Who will have more receiving yards against the 28th ranked defense Bears or against the 30th ranked defense Cowboys? Who will have more receiving yards, Rome or CD?
CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb.
You're not Savage, my brother.
Oh, sorry. brother.
Go ahead, Savage.
Honestly, you can flip a coin probably with that one, just because Kaiir Elam is that bad, and he's going to get toasted tomorrow. Toasted. And the fact that Caleb Williams is very mobile, and we have trouble. I mean, you could put a statue back there, and we would have a trouble sacking it. So now you had a mobile quarterback, a young kid. But I mean, they'll both go over 100, way over 100. I think it'll be a high.
There you
I just
have
think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
There you have it. Eshawn.
What's the Chicago Bears receiver's name again? I'm sorry, man. Remind me.
Rome Odunze.
Cool. No, to be completely honest, I have no idea who he is, so I can't speak to him at all.
This man don't watch the Fresco Report.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch it this week, man. I'm sorry, I'll watch it again. But no, I guess from that standpoint, I gotta go CD. Just I don't know who he is. So yeah, I'll say CD, man. I'll say CD.
What about you, Mike?
I'd also say CeeDee Lamb too. You know, CeeDee Lamb is still a top 3 wide receiver in this league, despite those drops in week 1. So, and that Bears player talked shit to him. Excuse my language. This offseason. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen here. But like Savage said, I do worry about this defense and us trying to cover Rome Odunze. You know, he has had a pretty solid year so far, and I think both players are going to play well, but the better receiver typically plays better in this argument. So I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be the better receiver tomorrow, and I have a feeling he's going to have a 2-touchdown game. 150 yards, 2 touchdowns is my prediction. Book it.
There he is. Space Cowboy.
I would say Lamb. I'm looking at the numbers here. Lamb has been consistently targeted in the double digits. We're talking about 13 in week 1 and then 11 in week 2. And then that's even including not even getting anything in the first quarter. When you compare it to Rome Odunze, he's had 9 targets and 11 targets. And really this one game that he had versus Detroit was, it was his only good game. Because if you go back and watch that Minnesota game, yeah, he was targeted 9 times, but he only had 37 yards. And
right,
I look at it as CeeDee Lamb's probably going to get more involved this particular week, and especially with both their corners out, I would hope like he would do something. But no, I think that for CeeDee, like what Mike was saying, it was more so. I think he's going to need to get his first receiving touchdown at some point. I think he's going to get it this week. I think that it's bound to happen, and the numbers tell the tale on that. So.
Right. We got a super chat here from Fifth Quarter Cowboys. The bro wearing the T-shirt representing Pop the Collar. He got the toes in the water, the ass in the sand. Well, apparently ass crack's waiting on him.
So
So
got those $40.
Oh my lord!
He been hanging with OG a little too long.
Yeah, for real. Man.
Good show, y'all. I got liquor and ass crack waiting on me.
Yeah, he's spending his $40 right there, man. You already know.
This man go to Miami and forgot how to act.
Shit. Wait till it comes out to LA.
The question is, what costs more, the ass crack or the liquor?
I think that super chat probably costs more. No telling. What's going over there?
Oh man,
Because you can get a good time with $2 liquor and a $2 hoe, so that's $4. So
Yeah, the morning after is when you pay for it.
Is that the pill or the hangover? Which one?
Both.
both.
The morning after pill costs more than the good time that he had. Isn't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? All right. Uncensored. Go ahead, man.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to have more, especially with their Pro Bowl corner. What is his name? Jalen Johnson. He just went on the IR, so that would be their number one corner that would have been guarding CD. So I think CD's going to have a more productive day. I'm not a believer in Caleb Williams at all. I'm not. He didn't win anything in college. He hasn't shown me anything in the pros. Everybody makes excuses because the measurables look nice, but I'm not sold on him. And if I'm not sold on your quarterback at all, I can't take you over Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, who's proven that them two have a connection consistently.
That's
You
true.
know, both of them have their off days, but if you play 17 games, 15 of them, Dak and CeeDee Lamb are going to be on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro, for that super chat. I appreciate you. Go have the best time. You deserve it. You work hard. Have the best time. So I was listening to 105.3 The Fan, and they had we had Brad Sham, the voice of the Cowboys. They had the Bears voice of the Bears on 105.3 The Fan, and he said that the Bears are number 3 in the league on third downs, and he goes, you know why? Because they don't ever the opponent don't even get to third down. They get the first down between first and second down.
Oh man,
so
good offenses,
and that came out of the Bears' organization. So I'm looking at this. CeeDee Lamb will have more yards than Rome Odunze. All right, I like saying his last name. But I'm looking at the number 2 guys, right? Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors last week, they had really good numbers. And DJ Moore and George Pickens. Could they see more action against these bad defenses, 28th to 30th? Cowboys are the number 30, right? So we go back to uncensored here. George Pickens, he only had 68 yards 5 catches, 68 yards. Will he have more production than that?
I think he will. If you're asking me if he's going to have more production than DJ Moore, absolutely, because I think DJ Moore is an even lazier wide receiver than Pickens. But I think there's still some timing to work out between him and Dak, and what passes Dak is going to be comfortable throwing to Pickens when Pickens is not wide open. And Pickens got to be more aggressive at the point when trying to catch the ball. There was 2 passes that former Cowboy receivers would have put a lot more effort into getting in this last game that Pickens just kind of, it wasn't where he wanted it, so he just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Me and Fifth saw him jogging on a couple routes. That's not going to get you the trust of your quarterback. If he look over to CD and they blanket cover CD, he needs to look at Pickens and see that Pickens is working hard to get open to be the number 2 option on the route. But I do think he's going to have more than DJ Moore. I don't know if this is going to be his breakout game, though, because I don't think that they're going to be able to cover CD at all.
Ooh, I love that. Absolutely. Space Cowboy, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when you again, the numbers are always going to tell you a tale. I mean, the fact is that DJ Moore's had a very bad start to the year, even as a number 2 weapon. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm looking at it right now, he had 5 targets and 6 targets. But the thing is where it differs between him and George Pickens is that if we really want to look at it, George Pickens should have over 100 receiving yards in both of these games that he's played, but the main reason for not having that is because of the pass interference calls. Like the one game we just had against the Giants, he had a big pass interference call, and you can go back and look at the Philly game. And I think that's where on the stat sheet you're not going to see that, but that's what George Pickens brings to you as a weapon. Is he's a very physical guy, and he's going to force the defensive back to outmaneuver him and try to outstrengthen him. And so he's been a DPI machine this year. And I think for me, do I think he'll do better than he did last week? Probably not statistically, because I think CD's going to be a little bit more open than usual. And he's usually open most of the time when he's not double or triple covered. But I do think I would expect DJ Moore to have a better game than Pickens this week, but that doesn't mean that Pickens isn't going to have a better impact than what DJ Moore is going to have in this upcoming game.
Love it. I love it. Mike, you're wearing the Pickens jersey. What are you thinking?
I'll turn on my webcam for this. So I have a good feeling about Pickens. You know, he has stepped up every single week. You know, he even mentioned in his press conference that it's all about trying to get open. I really like what I've seen from George Pickens. and I believe he is going to continue to step up. You know, he did very well last week, and I think he's going to continue that going into this week too. I think he's going to be better than DJ Moore, and unfortunately, I drafted DJ Moore in my fantasy team, and that's not really going so well. But I think George Pickens is going to have a very good game too. CeeDee Lamb, I think, will be better, but I think George Pickens will be solid too, and I would not be surprised if we see either CD or Pickens go for over 100 yards. I have a feeling that they're both going to have 100-yard games, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Nice. I want to take a minute before I get to Eshawn here on DJ Moore and George Pickens. But big shout out to Mike, man. When he first did this, he'd get nervous, he'd leave, and then he'd come back and he'd get nervous and he'd leave, and he stuck to it. He's over here camming up.
Love that.
Talking ball. Big shout out to Mike. Let's put some fire emojis in the chat for Mike here. Good stuff, Mike. Good stuff, Mike. Good stuff ain't easy. People think it's easy. The most awkward thing is talking to a camera by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got some people here. Go ahead, Eshawn. DJ Moore, George Pickens.
I think as far as who will have a better game, I think it'll be George Pickens. Will he exceed 68 passing yards? That's to be determined. Right now, I think he will. I think he will play better than he played last week, just because there's another game under his belt now. With him and Dak, but Dak and George Pickens do definitely need to get into better rhythm, man. And to Space's point, he's been a PI machine, pass interference machine. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that he does run lazy routes, because I've seen it even in the recently the Giants game, Uncensored was talking about him jogging on plays and stuff. I saw that as well, and I'm just like, there was a play, I think even he was referencing that he didn't even put his hands up to make a catch. I think it was in the red zone, I believe. And you just can't have that when you're a professional receiver, for you to not even put your hands up. I don't think that's acceptable. Now, he did end up getting the touchdown in the game, and he played better. Do I think he'll play better this week? I do think he'll play better than DJ Moore, but I need to see just in general with him, him not even putting his hands up on a throw, that does rub me the wrong way a little bit, I'll be honest. So that does give me cause to pause, but as for this week, I do think he'll play better. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah. So real quick, I got two things, and we'll let Danny Savage talk about DJ Moore and Pickens. But we got a super chat here from Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 with the $10 super chat. I would join, but I'm tired as hell. Moved into the new house yesterday, and I still have a lot to do. I'm getting too old for this stuff. Absolutely, 1980. I appreciate that $10 super chat coming from you. We've been friends for a long time, almost 10 years. Met you in person. The dude on the camera is the dude off the camera. Big shout out to 1980, and enjoy that big, beautiful home, brother. God, those pictures. I still can't get over it. I'd get lost if I ever went to your house. I'd get lost. So where am I at now? Oh, you're still in the master suite. Oh, what happens if I go here? Oh, you're still in the master suite. That house is huge. So big shout out to 1980 on that. And then people in the comments are going after fake champs because I asked the chat to put fire emojis for Mike. Fake champs was the only one that did it, and everyone's on fake champs' case for putting the fire emoji. So I'm going to ask one more time. Put the fire emojis for Mike in the damn chat.
Have it be legitimate people and not that fruitcake of a fucking guy that he was.
True.
Hey,
true.
He was the only one that did it. So big shout out to fake champs on that. Go ahead, Danny Savage. There we go. We got some fire emoji right there from Uncensored. Go ahead, Savage. DJ Moore, George Pickens, break it down for us.
The thing that rubs me the wrong way about Pickens is, when he's targeted and when he's not, just by his effort. Does not block for the run game, still lazy route running even after 2 weeks. The best thing for him, I think, is going to be getting a lot of penalties every week. He'll probably have a game tomorrow, but it's just ironic. He's a young kid playing for a contract, but yet he's still the kid he was at Georgia.
Knucklehead kid. Yeah.
I see the same kid.
Man, I'm watching this University of Texas San Antonio. They got McCown over there. And they got a guy named Robert Henry Jr. He's a senior. From what I've seen from Robert Henry Jr. over there in San Antonio, I'm kind of liking that young kid. I wonder if he's related to Derrick Henry. Anybody know?
No clue.
Wait, who?
Robert Henry Jr. He's playing for University of Texas San Antonio.
I have no idea.
The Roadrunners.
I
Hey,
doubt
big
it,
boy.
but let me check.
He's a running back, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a senior. I'm liking him. I'm liking. Now the network got carried away. Fox Sports 1 got carried away and put up Ashton Genty beside him, and Genty has 10 more pounds on him, but they're the same height at 5'9". But I don't like a lot of small running backs like that. I like my running back 6'1" and over. But Robert Henry Jr. is catching my eye. But no, George Pickens, man. I was on PR Cowboys TikTok live right before the game, and I told him, I said, Brian Schottenheimer is a watch and react type of coach, and week 1 we seen George Pickens run lazy routes, and I don't think Schottenheimer wanted that same performance out of George Pickens. Now, granted, it was a shootout. This is just my thoughts. Here we go. So for the routes that Pickens ran, and it looked like they got him the ball on purpose. Five receptions, 68 yards. In a shootout, I want to see George Pickens have more. But he's still in this new system. He's still going. But I want Pickens to crack 100 against this 28th ranked defense. I do. And I think it's possible. I don't think it's out of the reach. 5th, man.
He definitely does, Carter.
No, he doesn't. He's just a.
100% he does. Come on,
No,
man.
he don't. So I think Pickens can. But I said something in my post game video against the Giants. And I don't know if I said it out of emotion, but I said it. All right. I said Brian Schottenheimer doesn't seem to be a really good head coach, but he seems to be a really good offensive coordinator. Danny Savage, break that down for me. Am I wrong? In 2 weeks from Schottenheimer, is he a really good offensive coordinator? Because if you guys remember during this coaching hire process, the interviews of the other head coaches, Jerry said, I just want him to be an offensive coordinator and call plays. I don't really want him to be the head coach. I want him to be the offensive coordinator first. Then things happen, and now he's became the head coach, right? So, Danny Savage, is Schottenheimer in 2 weeks head coach material, or is he just a regular? Is he just a good offensive coordinator? Go ahead, Savage.
I think that's a fair assessment. He's probably a better OC than a head coach, because even against the Giants, like week 1, everybody was saying, "Oh, look, we don't got the penalties anymore." But week 2 turned into like every other game of the last 5 years of all the offensive penalties, all the, just undisciplined penalties. So, and I'm sorry, that comes down to coaching, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we were praising him, not me, but everyone was praising him week 1, and then week 2, it reared its ugly head again. So we're going to have to see like tomorrow if we could just not get those flags. Because, let's be honest, there had to be at least close to 15. Not on us, but in total, 15 to 20 penalties in that game. The game was brutal.
There was almost 30 total penalties.
There you go.
The Giants had 14. The Giants had 14. The Cowboys had 12.
Jeez.
You're not going to win against a good team.
And those are the accepted penalties that did not count the 4 penalty play that were all set. Those were accepted. 12 accepted penalties on Dallas, 14 accepted penalties against the Giants. It was a very sloppy shootout.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, Eshaun.
That is a sign of two bad teams playing each other.
No, to the question, I mean, I think your assessment corner of him being a better OC than a head coach, I think that's fair. I still am seeing a lot of like, a lot of the same plays still, but in terms of that, I guess comparison of a head coach to an offensive coordinator, I think that's a fair assessment. But it's also important to take into note that he's a rookie head coach too. So there is and this is the second game into the season, so
That's
there's
fair.
going to be mistakes. So, and I think that's something that you gotta like. No, you got to take into consideration that he's a rookie head coach. He's going to make mistakes. That's just not what's going to happen. But yeah, I didn't know that there were 12 Cowboy penalties and like 30 penalties total. That's disgusting. But yeah, man, you're not going to beat too many teams having 12 penalties in the game, and penalties are still a big issue, man. So I don't know what it is about this team and penalties, but that shit is just not getting cleaned up at all. But yeah, no, I mean to your thing about him being a better OC than head coach, I think that's true.
All right, give me 1 second. I think Cool Cowboy and Cowboys champs went bowling or something because they just popped in at the same time. But at the end of the dang show, like, oh, gee. But I'll let them talk about this topic, and then we're going to do final thoughts. So let me get Cool Cowboy in here. There's Cool Cowboy, and let me get Cowboys champs in here. There's Cowboys champs. But go ahead, Mike. Talk to me about my assessment about Schottenheimer being a good offensive coordinator, not so much a head coach. But Eshaun made a good point. It's only been a couple of weeks. He's a rookie head coach. We'll see what happens. Go ahead, Mike.
I think that's a fair point. There's definitely things that Schottenheimer did that I didn't like. Like, for example, calling all 3 timeouts with only a minute and 45 seconds left. It's not good coaching to use all 3 timeouts with that much time left. I think he called some really good plays. I've listened to some of Schottenheimer's press conferences. I think he's very, very well spoken, which I really like. There are things about Schottenheimer that I have really liked, but there's also things that I haven't liked. And it's like you said, great offensive coordinator, not so great head coach. And I'm kind of getting that same vibe from him too. Maybe he'll pick it up as the year goes on because we're only 2 games in, but we still have to see.
Okay. Space Cowboy.
It's hard to answer because you really don't know what kind of head coach he actually is because you only have a 2-game sample size to go off of. And typically you don't know what the team is like going to be a reflection of him until probably 2 to 3 years down the road. So I'm not trying to excuse the deficiencies he has as of this current point in time because we've seen him. I think that with what the coaching staff that you assemble, because, it's when you become a head coach, it's like when you're at work, you're going from managing, like being a team lead of one department to managing a whole bunch of teams and how they operate. So it's a completely different level to this. And I think like we saw on Sunday versus the Giants, I mean, 6 of those accepted penalties were on special teams. That's got to get fixed up. Offensively, we've seen 1 pre-snap penalty, I think it was last game. And that's been so far the only, I could be wrong, but my point is it's not as frequent. But then again, we don't know what kind of guy he is as a coach because this is his first time doing it, right?
Right.
But in terms of it being a better OC as opposed to a head coach, obviously he is the play caller and he's given full reign now of what he wants to do. So that's great. But, I don't want to give a non-answer. Just to be transparent with all y'all, I can't judge a guy off of 2 games. Especially considering the fact that if you really talk about how this whole thing's been going down, the whole Micah Parsons situation, having to manage all these personalities and the aftermath of that, that's a lot. But I think that, again, we've seen this with other head coaches. Like, for example, I hate to bring him up, but when you look at the guy out in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, right? A lot of the times people talk about how he acts or how he does this and a third, but he's built a culture over there that knows how to win. Granted, you could talk about how they promote from within and how they've not done a great job of doing that. So they had to go get new coordinators, but you really don't know what you have until you see it. Like when we hired Mike McCarthy, right? You kind of understood what you were getting with the guy, a guy that's going to raise the floor of your team, but there was a disciplinary part of it that you were expecting. Hey, we're going to see this team not really be as prepared in the postseason, depending on the matchup. And we've seen that when we played the 49ers, which historically Mike McCarthy struggled against. You could talk about like Bill Parcells. You kind of understood what you were getting when you're getting him, but you don't know what you have in Shoddy, right? So I'll just be straight with you, Mike. I couldn't answer that because we don't know. But in terms of how things are being managed currently, it's not looking good on certain parts of the ball. So we need to give it more time. And as much as I can see that, but that's really the correct answer in my book.
No, that's fair, Space. That's fair. I think Eshawn, I think everybody made good points here. Go ahead, Uncensored. Break it down for me. It was my assessment right after 2 weeks of ball?
I think it's a little premature, but I think it's a fair assessment if you're just looking at it in a bubble. And I was writing down as everybody was talking. There's 4 things as a head coach I think Shoddy needs to work on. Clock management. The way he ended that Eagles game, if you were going to go for it on 4th down, like they did, you get that snap off before the 2-minute warning so that you get that extra timeout. The halftime drive, going into halftime, this past game with the Giants, where they could have got Aubrey set up for a field goal, and the clock expired, they couldn't get the snap off. And even though he's in control of the offense as a head coach, you need to get your foot as deep in the Matt Eberflus ass to get this defense together. He has to make sure that he understands he is just not an offensive coordinator. You are the head coach. Matt Eberflus answers to you. Get his shit together with this defense. And if that takes you delegating somebody to assist you in getting the offensive game plan installed so that you can be more attentive to making sure the defense gets to where you need it to be, that is your job as a head coach. If this continues to happen and they struggle against the Bears and they get dog walk against Green Bay, there's got to be a conversation about him as a head coach and Matt Eberflus as a defensive coordinator.
Right.
And then the last one is the penalties came back last game. We had 1 game off, but we've seen 1 game where they got it together and we like, is it together? I need to see consistency. You're not going to have games. Nobody has a game where they don't have any penalties. But we need to get these pre-snap penalties, these special team penalties down. They're getting penalties without moving, basically. You can't move before they field the kick. We had one of those last game. I think Marquise Bell moved before they fielded the kick, and you got in a false start on a fucking kickoff. So he's got to get the penalties down in the defense, number 1, and then work on his clock management. And I don't know if he needs somebody standing next to him that's like, hey, we call timeout right here, or we got to get this play off before the 2-minute warning. Let Dak know, and don't run 15-yard routes when you got to spike the ball if you catch it in bounds. You don't put your wide receivers 20 seconds down the field because you got to come all the way back during that time. That's the head coach mentality versus the offensive coordinator that's just trying to score. Hey, look, we only need 5 yards. Our kicker can kick for 70 yards. We're gonna run deep ends at 10, deep outs at 10. That's it. Don't send him on a 15-yard post that we got to all stand around waiting for this one wide receiver to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's what happened at the halftime at the Giants game. But that's pretty much it.
Right. Cowboys champs on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. What up, dude?
What's up, guys? I came on, show us a little love, man, before I go to bed.
All right. Well, share the love. What you got?
Well, to answer your question about is Shoddy a better offense coordinator than head coach? As of right now, yeah, because he don't have enough experience as a head coach. He's a head coach in training. But as far as the offense coordinator, he still got lots to learn to do. But as far as head coach, he needs to put on the big boy pants and put the tissue down and get on Eberflus' ass. Because the defense, it's hurting right now. And I don't think Eberflus is helping out the defense with the schemes. I don't be honest. I don't know. Be honest, I don't know what the hell Eberflus doing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Cool Cowboy on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys coming in at the exact same time as Cowboys champs. So I know y'all went top golfing. Y'all just got home. So break it down for me. Is Schottenheimer a good offensive coordinator, or is he a better head coach, or vice versa? Go ahead.
Just like what everyone else is saying, we don't have enough of a sample size, but based off what we do know, he's definitely he's a better offensive coordinator than a head coach because he still makes rookie coach mistakes when it comes to clock management, using timeouts, and also he gotta have Matt Eberflus make some better halftime adjustments on the defense because if the defense keeps playing the way it does, we're not gonna win a lot of games. It'll be 2020 all over again, where the offense has to score on every drive just to win. And as for the special teams penalties, I think that has more due to the fact that the Cowboys hired the worst special teams coordinator from San Francisco, Nick Swanson. That special teams unit in San Francisco was not good at all. And I don't know why we hired Nick Swanson.
Coordinator in San Fran, just to give you a heads up.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I guess he wasn't the worst special teams coordinator in San Francisco, but here he definitely is. So he gotta make sure that cut down on the kickoff penalties and the false starts and all that. Like if you're having too many special teams penalties, that's a serious problem. And apart from that, not much else to say. A lot of people basically said everything better than I did. So hopefully he improves.
All right, Joe. 1980 has a question for the chat. He goes, another winnable game, and then after I call you guys, answer 80's question if you will, and then give your final thoughts here. So Cool Cowboy, we're snaking it, so it's back to you. Do you think the Cowboys can take advantage of what 80 calls another winnable game, and then what's your final thoughts? Go ahead.
Will they take advantage of it? Well, I don't know because the Cowboys oftentimes they will lose one game a year where you feel like they should win it, but they play down the competition, they lose it.
True.
But I still think they can win the game. I mean, Caleb Williams has not impressed me at all. Like his decision making and his pocket awareness is not very good. So I think this will be a get right game for the defense to maybe improve. Although we are missing our best two corners, but like I said, I don't think Caleb Williams he does not pass the ball downfield very well. So I think we can definitely take advantage of that on defense. And also, their corners have been playing really, really bad. Tyreek Stevenson and their other cornerback, Jalen Johnson, got hurt. So we can definitely take advantage in the pass game with Pickens and Lamb. So I think we can win the game. And as for final thoughts, hopefully we have less penalties and hopefully the defense plays better because if not, then Eberflus is going to be in serious trouble at the end of the year.
All right, that's cool. Cowboy right there on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys, better late than never. Mike, 80's question, another winnable game. Do you think the Cowboys can take advantage, and what's your final thoughts?
100%. I'm liking it. I've liked what I've seen so far. I definitely think this is a very winnable game. The defense is still a massive concern. I just hope Caleb Williams doesn't light up this defense like Russell Wilson did, but I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing, and I definitely think that we will win this game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, and that's kind of where I'm at there. And final thoughts. You might have to come back to me on that one.
Okay, Mike, don't have any final thoughts tonight. Uncensored. Another winnable game. Can the Cowboys take advantage? And what's your final thoughts?
The first thing that comes to mind about this game is don't play with your food. Get in there, get the job done, and walk out of there with a victory that was confirmed by the end of the third quarter. Don't play with your food. The Cowboys are a more talented team than the Chicago Bears. It needs to look like that. Winning the game 24-20 does not give me confidence that this team can compete against the upper echelon of this league. We have to start reevaluating where we start where we place the Cowboys as far as the competition in the NFL. Sometimes we as fans overrate this team and where it ranks, and we look at other teams as less than when we are probably closer to the Chicago Bears as a team than the Green Bay Packers as a team. And when we start looking at it that way, we can actively evaluate. This game needs to be like 35-17. Don't play with your food. Get in there, handle business, and get on to the next week. You got a big time opponent coming, Green Bay. You can't overlook the Bears because you'll get trapped.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture is get in there, have a clean game, get out healthy, and don't play. And then my final thought is, if this is a close game or if they lose this game, you're gonna have to start taking a hard look at what players you can trade for capital and the future of some of these coaches and coordinators. Because if you can't beat the Bears and you can't handle business against the Bears, you got Kansas City, you got Green Bay, you got the Eagles again, you got the Commanders twice. You got 4 teams around Thanksgiving that all won 14 games last year. And the future can't be predicted because all of them are dealing with nicks and bumps already in just week 2. But we got to look at it based off of what it is today. If this team cannot beat the Bears, you can start looking at Danny Savage channel a lot earlier because we're going to be talking draft.
There it is.
We're going to be talking draft.
Too funny.
All righty, Sean. Follow that up. Uncensored with some fire. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. No, it's another winnable. Yeah, so no, I mean, can they take advantage? Yes. Will they? It's to be determined, man. It's like, listen, at the end of the day, man, like, you know, like Uncensored said, man, they better win this game, man. It's like, because, like, you know, I definitely think the Cowboys, you know, on paper, they're much better. Obviously, on the field, it's to be determined, but it's like, you know, on that Thanksgiving stretch, even before that, we got Denver and Mile High. You know, obviously there's the Packers next week. You know, you got the Chiefs. I think we even play the Lions.
The 0-2 Chiefs.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, man. Man.
And the Cardinals.
Yeah. I don't know why the fuck they can't beat the Cardinals, but that's a separate thing. But anyway, the point I'm making is that, I mean, if you lose to the Bears, man, that's a major, major fucking red flag for me moving forward. True. And so, like, it's, you know, regardless of how those teams are playing, it's just, I don't know, it's a major red flag for me if they lose. So can they take advantage? I mean, sure, they can take advantage. Will they? That's what we have to find out, man. But hey, the game's tomorrow, and I mean, you know, where I and Uncensored at is 1:15 in the afternoon. But it's, you know, we'll find out, man. Come 1:15 for me, we'll find out, man. So that's my answer to that question. And even my final thoughts, man, it's just,
there it is.
Just hope we fucking win this game, man. That's it.
Bingo. Bango. That's what it's all about. Daddy Savage. Another winnable game, says 1980. Can the Cowboys take advantage? And what's your final thoughts?
I mean, it's possible they could win, but it's, you know, 2 bad teams going up against each other. And the last few years, it always seems like an unknown always has their coming out party against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You'll see a wide receiver you never heard of catch 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen with Green Bay. We've seen that happen with the Jacksonville Jaguars playing Dallas. It's like, so I don't think we can, if we were playing IMG, I don't think we can overlook them because Dallas is simply not that good. They're not. If the fan base thinks it is, well, they're still drinking that Flint and Water, Michigan water. As for Eberflus, man, I'm going to be honest, man. I don't think Buddy Ryan could help this defense because it just comes down to what talent is on the field, and this defense is horrendous. So Eberflus is going to be gone after this year, but he was Mike McCarthy's Mike Nolan, man. He hired his friend, and that's what Schottenheimer did. So I'm not throwing everything on Eberflus because this defense is horrendous, and you know. Like, I don't understand, like, how do you get to training camp and you're going to be like, yeah, we're going to revamp the defense? No. You do that in free agency and the draft. You don't do that in preseason with a bunch of guys you signed on 1-year contracts. But that's just my percent.
What's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean, I'll be watching the game with everybody, but I mean, it's winnable. But I don't think Dallas can say, "Oh yeah, we're going to go in there and smack them by 28 points." To anybody,
You over there, Mr. Miyagi?
I don't think they can overlook anyone because they're just not that good.
True.
They're not. Now you got what? No BB in the middle. So the injuries are starting to, pile up. What's Clowney going to give you tomorrow? Maybe 15 plays before he's huffing and puffing. I mean, 20 the most.
Right.
I think 20 is too much. I think you might go in for 12 plays.
It'll be situational pass rushing.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, that's what it is, guys. Right here on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys, guys. Look, it is another winnable game, and I really hope the Dallas Cowboys take advantage here. Whenever you're you're 1-2, or excuse me, when you're 1-1 facing an 0-2 team, I don't know who said it, but I think Danny Savage said it, is you could take, that team can be more physical because they got more to lose being 0-3 with the rookie head coach, right? So the Cowboys have to be on their A game. And whenever, you look at this, like Uncensored said, you can't go 1-2 going into Chicago, or excuse me, going into Green Bay, or Green Bay coming to us. You get what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, they have to take advantage of this win, and I want a clean win. If Matt Eberflus is coming home to Chicago, shut these mother lovers out. Is it possible? Absolutely not. But there's always a chance for something. But they better figure out how to stop Swift. They better learn how to stop Rome, Odunze, DJ Moore. There's K-Mitt over there. Savage talking about an unknown wide receiver. K-Mitt could be that guy. So, we need all hands on deck and take advantage of what should be a winnable game. That's just what it is. But this is the corner of Crazy and Cowboy. This is Talking Crazy. Big shout out to Savage, Eshawn, Space Cowboy, Mike, Uncensored, Cool Cowboys, Cowboys Champs for coming on the panel. And then Fifth Quarter Cowboys and Dallas Cowboy Fan 1984, their super chat. So I do appreciate everyone coming in. Everybody in the comment section, you guys make this Talking Crazy, Freaky Friday. Everybody, you guys make this happen. I don't know who's streaming the game tomorrow for it, but hit the notification bell. Cowboys Champs. Somebody might be streaming it. I don't know. But follow these guys here. Daddy Savage. Follow Eshawn. Cool Cowboy. Follow all these guys. Especially Savage. We're talking that. I don't know. No one else has a YouTube channel but me and Savage here.
Yeah, I don't have
You need me to start streaming?
That's up to you, Big Will. That's up to you. But hey, guys, are you? What the hell's my slogan? Are you in the Cowboys corner? Peace.
Peace.
You forgot it. Come on, man.